I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, college basketball is basically 3 seasons. There's a preseasons, there's a conference, and then now it's postseason time. So, I mean, it's a new opportunity to just go out there and have an opportunity to play.
So you guys have been working on rebounding, I take it?
Most definitely, most definitely. But besides that, we've worked on a lot of things too. Just also focus on defense. Just could always try to get better on defense and defensive assignments, understanding, especially scout, paying more attention to the scout because we felt like we made a lot of error in that focus. So, yeah.
Well, what's the biggest thing that you guys can tell in practice when you get around tournament time that you guys benefit from having so much experience on this roster?
I mean, in this time period, you can't really do too much. You can't go out there and go crazy on practice because obviously, you want to make sure the guys are healthy and ready to play the game. But I feel like now it's more of a mental aspect of things. Paying attention to the detail, like I mentioned with Scout. Our bodies are already well conditioned. Considering we enjoy the whole season. So just more paying attention to the smaller details, like where to be in certain situations and stuff like that. So just put a lot more emphasis on it because the reality is only one game is guaranteed. So, yeah.
Caleb, what was the message for the team after Kansas City and kind of bowing out early there?
I think the first message was rebounding. We got to get better at that. I think we struggled in that game, but I think at the end of the day, it's just we have a new opportunity now. And so as much as we can, we got to push that behind us because it's already happened. We can't do anything about it and focus on the now and how we can get better every day in practice and work on the things that we need to work on and lock in the scout, like Flo was saying, and all these little mental things that we can get our mind prepared for this weekend.
Caleb, you probably come to Baylor hoping to be in this opportunity where you guys are the top 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. For you as a transfer now, what's that next step to reach that goal for you?
I've never won a game in the tournament, and so that's my goal is to just win as many games as we can. I mean, it's such a fun experience. I think even kind of this pre-process of going to the tournament, the preparation, and being a 3 seed, for me is exciting. But at the end of the day, we do want to go and win games and to show everybody what Baylor basketball is about.
Flo, now that y'all had a couple days to maybe watch some film and stuff, what do y'all see from UC Santa Barbara?
I mean, they're a very good team, especially when I look at the full man, also look at the point guard, kind of an all-conference play, very European style, controls the ball very well, makes great reads. So it's definitely going to be a challenge, but like I said, we're just going to pay attention to the scout, take away their strength, and make sure we play to our strengths too, and obviously include rebounding. Most importantly.
Either of you guys played at altitude like that before in your college careers?
I think I kind of have. I was up in Utah a few years back. Been in college basketball for a minute, so yeah.
For you, I mean, what when you tell guys about what it's like playing there, how would you describe what playing at altitude is? Because it seems like something that we make a big deal out of, and I don't know if maybe it's.
I mean, for me personally, it's the only difference with it is just the first media. The first media, you're gonna feel very winded, but as the course of the game goes by, you're gonna be a little bit more fatigued. Feel like you exert more energy into it, but. I mean, we've had the preparation for it, so I don't think it's going to be anything crazy.
Caleb, you've obviously played at altitude.
I've lived there.
Right. Do you see when you played at BYU, did you see other teams gasping a little sometimes?
I think a little bit at the beginning, but at that point, I think bodies are just in so good a shape that I think the actual impact is a little bit less. But you definitely feel it. I don't even know how to put it into words, but it's like you can't get enough air kind of feeling. But we're doing a little bit of preparation for that, and we'll be up there an extra day early now, and so just kind of breathing that air and getting acclimated, I think is going to help us.
Flo, in past experience, what's the difference in travel or preparation from that side of things going to an NCAA tournament game rather than just going on the road to play Kansas or Kansas State?
I mean, it's one game. Like, it's one game, and you got to make sure you play to the best of your ability because the next game is not guaranteed. And when I look at my perspective, and it's can be a continuous college career, or it might be it. So the reality of it is just focusing, paying attention to all the details so you can actually win the game, so you don't get another opportunity to play another. So I mean, that's just kind of thing that's at stake right now in comparison to conference, where you have a bunch of string of games that you got to win. But this one, it's 1-0. So.
Well, how have you seen LJ improve since he's been here?
I mean, LJ has improved a lot. I remember when I came his freshman year, he was a little high-headed a little bit. But now he's more composed, more of a leader now. Has the ability to just take in coaching and also not just taking coaching for himself, but also apply it to other people. Like kind of help other guys if they're struggling and stuff like that. I mean, he's come a long way, and primarily for me, most importantly, just his leadership. Like his leadership has definitely grown the most on the team for sure.
And you saw him last year. He had those foot issues, and he's trying to play. What did that kind of show you? Just his willingness to try to play.
For me, it showed his maturity. A lot of the times, a lot of players can get in their head, especially when they're not playing. Because basketball, when you're not on the court, you feel like you're just another individual on the sideline. But for me, it definitely showed maturity, handling his business as far as getting treatment, getting better, getting healthier, and also just primarily being there for his teammates, even in the midst of him knowing he's not out there on the court, but he was still part of the team.
Well, you were on a team that won this whole thing. What is maybe one thing that you guys did that you're trying to repeat in this tournament?
I mean, for me, the most important thing is just togetherness. We just got to stay together, weather the storm. Especially going to come times or in certain moments of the game where it's like we just got to stay together. And that's just the reality of the national championship team is like in the midst of adversity, we always try to stay together, whether it was down by 10, down by 5, or sometimes even down by 15, whatever it may be. Like just take it one step at a time and until the buzzer goes off. So,
Anything else?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Very disciplined team, well coached. They're going to run their stuff, play at a slower pace. Player of the year in the conference, Mitchell is from Belgium. So, I mean, Manu and him, I'm sure he saw Manu play back in the day and knows him. And I know Coach Jacobs saw him when he was 17 or 18. He's a good player. So he really does a great job moving the ball and getting it to the right spots and the right people, and at the same time can really score. They got really good players around him. Transfer from Cal, who averaged 13 and 8, second in the Pac-12 in rebounding, graduated there, and player from Oregon. So, I mean, they got high major experience, and at the same time it's a program last 3 years they've gone to the tournament. Lost by 1 to Creighton the last time they were there. So, like anybody in the field, they're well coached, good players, good team.
Scott, this is my go-to question for you. What's the update on Langston?
So he's we'll see how he does in practice next couple days, and then from there be able to decide if he can play or not.
I'm curious. I know a lot of it is based on the trainers and stuff, but when you test the guy out in practice with an eye, what are the things that do you know what the things are that they look for?
Yes, if he's making shots, if he's, but I mean, the big thing is just is he able to perform to help the team, and after not being able to do things, where's he at physically and mentally and all that. So just like anyone who's recovering from an injury, you got to see when they're ready to step back on the court and be productive.
Outside of that, is it a breath of fresh air this time to have LJ and John as opposed to this time last year?
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully the rest of the year we keep everybody going in the right direction. So, and as you know, it's such a physical game nowadays, and injuries play such a big part in things. You got to have depth. It takes a team to win, and we've been blessed to just not have season-ending injuries.
How much have you worked on rebounding?
You can ask the guys that. I know. None of us felt good about that performance and that side of the thing. And as a coaching staff, you always prepare your guys to be successful. We obviously didn't prep and drill rebounding enough, so I think we're in good shape. I think everybody at this time of year knows that this could be your last practice in the Farrell Center. So I mean, you're dialed in, you're locked in, and you're competing as hard as you can, trying to execute as well as you can. And as a coaching staff, you want them fresh. You don't want to get anyone injured. At the same time, you want to get them ready. So it's that fine line and prayer in between.
Scott, you are leaving today?
Today.
Does that help acclimate?
We think it will. So we're going to practice up there tomorrow, and it's easier to get up there tonight, get situated, get a good night's sleep. I mean, players have all been in class all day, so the only thing different would be tomorrow they get up early and leave and travel and then practice versus getting up there, getting a good night's sleep, hopefully getting hydrated.
Scott, how excited was your dad when he saw the bracket?
I don't think he was more excited than I was. I mean, to have my brother in the same area, that's awesome. And you got Peyton and Jake and my brother-in-law, Casey. I mean, so many people you love. And at the same time, we weren't playing each other, which was another concern. So that's a blessing because that would be like the worst thing you could do is play against a family member in the NCAA tournament because someone's going home afterwards.
Is this the first time you would, particularly an NCAA tournament game, that you would have seen him? Because I know you've been in the hotel knocking down the walls and stuff.
Yeah. In the bubble, that was a little bit different. So definitely. And depending on what time their game is and how our game goes, they get up there Wednesday. So I'm sure I'll see them Wednesday at some point.
Coach, in terms of, there's always been March Madness upsets, but it seems like this year, just when you look at things like lines and stuff, it just seems like the margin between 13-4, 12-5 is closer than ever. Where have you seen that kind of change even in the past 10 years?
Well, I think you could go back to the record books, and I think like 12-5 is like 500 or something. I mean, it's great parity, and you can go back to when Virginia lost as a number 1 seed. I think that became real to everybody that, 16s can beat ones. And we've had 2 teams that were the last 4 in that have gone to a Final Four. So, I mean, it's called March Madness for a reason. It's been my brother 25 years ago yesterday hit that shot against Ole Miss. So, dang, it means I'm getting old. But that's what makes March special is NBA, it's 4 or 7. So you're getting the best team. When it's a 40-minute game, anything can happen. Off night, injury, illness, sickness, anything can happen. So you got to be on point.
Scott, I know you have to focus on UCSB. You don't win, you don't go on. But in a tournament like this where the turnaround's so quick, like, is there another coach you're like, hey, look at Creighton and NC State just in case? Like, how do you so quickly get into that next match?
Yeah, so I think every staff probably does it the same. You have one coach does the current scout, and then you all work together on it, and then you have other coaches working on the next possibilities because it'd be impossible if you didn't start doing that. So virtually everybody looks at that. It's a 2-game tournament, and everybody all hands on deck with the first game, and then you got people ready for whoever you might possibly play if you're able to advance.
Not that there isn't talent everywhere, but do you breathe a little sigh of relief that you're not going to have to go 40 minutes in the Big 12?
Yeah, I can definitely say that every Big 12 coach is excited about that.
Scott, have you seen LJ grow as a player and as a person since he's been?
Yeah, I think LJ's somebody that came in and really was a terrific scorer, shooter, and I think he's gotten better at facilitating, creating for his teammates off the bounce. His defense has really improved, and he's really improved his leadership and done a great job with. He's fun to be around. He always has a smile, energy giver. And somebody is very dependable. Like he does the little things. One of our best blockout guys. So you're excited about how he's matured.
Yeah, he kept trying to play last year, even with the foot
Yeah.
pain. How much did y'all miss him, and what did that kind of say about him that he wanted to play so bad?
Yeah, I mean, we're 15-0 when we had him and John. So obviously it affected us, and at the same time, very appreciative and respectful of him trying to do whatever he could to get back. And one thing is, you never have to question LJ's toughness. So if he can go, he's going to go, and it's a blessing we got the feet taken care of, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
What can you say about, your brother and the success he's having at GCU
Yeah, proud brother, 2 and 3 years. They'd never gone before, and now they've gone twice in 3 years. And he went to the tournament with Valpo, with Vanderbilt. So he's a great coach, does a great job, and you're always proud when your brother does well.
What's the difference in facing a mid-major that you might not see on a weekly basis or hear about on a weekly basis versus when you host Arkansas, where it's a big Power 5 school and it's not in your conference, but you know a lot about it?
Yeah, I think the first thing is you always worry about the motivation of your players, because when they know the other team, they know the other players on the team. Normally, you're excited for rivals and people that, if people are on draft boards, if people are talked about, that's easy motivation for you. At the same time, that's what makes college basketball. There's 363 teams. There's so many good players, and there's so much parity between them. And a lot of our guys were overlooked. A lot of our guys started Division II, Division I, so they know there's great players everywhere, and you got to be ready to go.
Very good. All right.
Appreciate you guys.